Welcome to the Great British Pinball Podcast, and here are your hosts Scott Rundell and Neil McRae.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the big one you've been waiting for. You're getting in your car. You've got pinjuries all over from loading the van with games. You've cursed yourself for forgetting something as you drive down the motorway. And why are we driving down the motorway, Scott?
Because we're going to Pinfest.
It is that time of the year. It is Pinfest 2024. I am Neil McRae, and I'm joined, as always,
By Scott Rundle. How you doing, Neil?
I'm good, my friend. And first of all, I'm going to call out right away. We were supposed to record this yesterday, and I screwed up. And Scott has got out of bed early to record this. Appreciated, Scott. Because we couldn't leave the punters without anything to listen to on their epic journeys from all over the country. Heading to a place called Daventry, a place that you would never go to unless you were going to Pinfest. Because let's say
it's not on the tourist map.
Nothing. But what it does have, it has a great big hotel with a great big car park and a function room that can fill up with pinball. What it doesn't have is a bar that doesn't run out of beer. But that seems to be a common thing at hotels because the UK Open Hotel ran out of beer as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, it ran out of one type of beer. And it's... So this is, I don't know, the fifth time or sixth time I've been to Pinfest. Big Phil and the team, put on it. Last year I thought they did a great job making the thing a bit bigger, taking over the whole hotel. Still hotel niggles though, but it wasn't as bad as previous years. It's definitely better. But
yeah, you still get random people coming into your room.
Yeah, with your £10,000 worth of camera gear.
Yeah.
There. My wife's looking at them thinking, what? This time I've just got a kind of my Glock 55 on a string, so if anyone opens the door, they just get shot. That's just a joke, folks. Because under this government, you can be arrested and jailed for saying such things now.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. Anyway,
mere thoughts are prohibited.
Absolutely, the thought police are after us. So look, we're going to cover a couple of things. We'll probably do about an hour. And we're going to do a couple of things and then wrap up with a couple of topics that are bubbling under right now. But the first thing we're going to cover is the schedule of UK Pinfest, which is helpfully on Pinball Forum. And if you're not banned like I am, you can read it. Unfortunately, I'm banned, so I can't read it. Phil, it'd be nice if you put the schedule on the website because I think it would be useful for people who are not members of that fraternal, fantastic forum. So, look, we got there's a bunch of things I think I'll just call out. The first, actually, I'm going to start kind of in reverse. So years ago, we did some talks and presentations at Pinfest, and actually, the presentations have always been a bit ropey in my view, but. For a variety of reasons, just it kind of comes at the end. Everyone's knackered, wants to go home, etc. But so and also there's some questions about who the UK Pinball Hall of Fame and who really runs it and who owns it, and it's a bit murky and a bit ridiculous, frankly. Anyway, first thing is David Fix from American Pinball, really nice bloke, is flying all the way over. Probably to hear about how little people buy his games, unfortunately. Because I think American sales here are not great. Actually, I was trying to buy a couple of American pinball games so that his games would be here. I think most of them are going to be here anyway, luckily. I wasn't able to buy any. I mean, because, well, one, people wanted ridiculous money for them. And two, there wasn't that many up for sale. So I know there's a Hot Wheels. I think there's a Houdini.
I think Phil Palmer's bringing like Valhalla, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of games. But go and meet David Fix. He's a really, really nice guy. And he tries he works flat out American Pinball. He took a bunch of us, thanks to Alan O'Grady, down to the factory a couple of years ago. And we got to see actually the barbecue pin before they released it, and actually I thought the barbecue was just like a code name. I didn't actually think.
Oh right.
Yeah, I didn't actually think that they would launch barbecue as a theme. But nonetheless, it's not. It's. I like the game. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's a lot of fun. If there's one there, definitely go play it. Hopefully, they've got one where the flippers are set up, because the game suffers if the flippers aren't spot on. You can't hit the ramp, and that makes it a bit rubbish. But I like it. I think it's a good game. I like Galactic Tank Force. Have you?
Yeah, do you know what? I was going to get one a long time ago, but like it was just that when they first came out, do you remember they had the big issue with the tank? And the targets were like just ricocheting the ball flying over the flipper, and that just put me off.
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately, this is the thing with America, and they kind of get so close, but the last few inches,
Yeah,
don't nail it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like a barbecue where you can smell it, but you don't get to eat it. Where they've got the Galactic Tank Force, the artwork, the back glass, the story. It was a bit cheesy.
well, the video assets were really good as well. I thought, it reminds me of the days of Command and Conquer. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I thought. So I thought Command and Conquer, and I thought kind of British humor, something that David Croft, the guy that did Ain't Half Hot Mum and a bunch of other kind of probably probably stuff you can't watch now, but in good taste. I thought it was pretty good. I thought they put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
Dennis Nordman always usually does a great game. I think this is not his best, unfortunately. Indy 500's a Nordman game. Elvira's a Nordman game. So you kind of expect to get some good stuff.
I feel like the focus was on the cabinet, making it into a tank.
The tank. I know. Well, this is the thing. George Gomez, I've said this before in the podcast, but his mantra is ball and flippers. Get that right, then add the, as he calls it, the garnish.
Right. Okay.
But if look, you can have a great theme. Sometimes you can have a great theme and get away with not such a great game. Ghostbusters, for example. TBL, for example. Not great games. I'll probably get a riot for saying that. But and actually, if you're thinking that TBL is a great game, have a game of it. If there's one at Pinfest, I don't know if there is. If there is one at Pinfest, have a game of it, and then go look for a Medieval Madness and have a game of Medieval Madness. I don't actually, unfortunately, I think there's a Medieval Madness there, but literally, TBL is a rip-off of Medieval Madness in terms of rules and gameplay. And Medieval Madness does it a lot better, in my view. But yeah, so ball and flippers, focus on that. And actually, I think Norman normally gets that. Elvira, I love that game. I know people think it's easy, but I kind of love it. And also because Lyman was involved in it. But focus ball and flippers, then do everything else. Artwork, sound, for me, sound's super important. I think that's the case for a lot of people. But go meet David Fix. He's a great guy. I'm sure he'll be signing flyers and stuff. So go grab one. Then, actually, I don't know this guy, Toby Sixto from the V-Pin Workshop is going to talk about V-Pins. So I think that room will be absolutely rammed at that point. No disrespect, but I just wonder if V-Pins is the right thing to be talking about at Pinfest. For me, I find it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, isn't it? I mean, like for me, I don't mind virtual pins. I think like they fill a gap when you haven't got access to games that you're never going to be able to get easily, like Big Bang Bar as an example. If you want to experience that game, probably a V-Pin's going to be the way to do it. But I think it just doesn't compare to the real thing, and it never will.
Would you give up one of your slots in your game room for a V-Pin? I wouldn't. And I've got 20 slots.
Technically, I think I would, but I think
really?
I think Holly wouldn't. She's going to be like, it's just not the real thing. I think there is something about pinball. It's that kinetic feeling that you get from the game that I think you're never going to get.
Well, this is the thing. I think so. I think you say yes now, right? But then if something came along, like a Big Bang Bar or a game that you wanted, how are we going to fit this in? We'll get rid of the V pin.
Oh yeah, that would be the first on the chopping block,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Yeah.
Anyway, look, I'm sure it'll be interesting. I did a bit of googling on Toby. I don't know but I think
I think a talk on like building your own pinball machine would have probably been more apt.
Yeah. I mean, and actually,
anyway.
I mean, V pins are. I didn't realize quite how big they are. So, as you know, I'm into Scorbit, and Scorbit have got support for V pins, and it's huge.
Okay.
There's more traffic on the Scorbit Discord about V pins than there's about real pins. And then we got the awards and presentations. I have to say, this bit for me is a bit frustrating because there's this weird thing about the UK Pinball Hall of Fame Awards. So the real UK Pinball Hall of Fame is run by Gary Flowers. And a bunch of folks have basically said, screw you, Gary, we're going to set up a different one because I don't know why, because Gary's the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. And they've got this kind of fake awards. And I kind of, it feels a bit flimsy to me, especially, I mean, Gary Flower, you know, I have to say, when I first heard about him, you know, I never met the guy. I was like, oh, who is he? You know, he's some, but let me tell you, the guys in the pinball industry, they love him. And, you know, so I'll give an example. Last year at Chicago, he hosted 2 different seminars for pinball manufacturers. He is super plugged into all the pinball manufacturers, all the pinball folks, you know, the Sharps, etc. He's such a nice guy. And actually, he did me a massive favor and I had an issue with Expo, and he sorted it all out for me. And you know, I think he's a really nice bloke, and he owns the trademark for the UK Pinball Hall of Fame. And I wish they'd just fix it and get him back involved. Not quite sure why it's gone the way it's gone.
Don't know.
But anyway, so that's and then what else have we got going on? Of course, there's free play. There's over 100 games, and you've got VIP access, which I recommend. Well, I recommend everyone buys it, except I don't want everyone to buy it because it gets too busy.
I was going to say, don't go encouraging things like that, Neil.
No, but the show. So the show opens at 7 p.m. on Friday night, but it doesn't. Let me come back and see why. And then you got VIP access to 11. And then at 11 karaoke starts, and let me tell you, Pinfest karaoke is a dream event that everyone needs to attend. I have got a special track that I'm going to sing. Everyone will be pleased to know. And then on Saturday, you know, don't go to bed too late because we're up at 10 a.m. For free play, and Saturday will be rammed. It'll be very busy, I'm sure. Hopefully it's cold outside so we don't all die from heat exhaustion. The show runs 10 till 6, and then you've got the evening VIP again, and then you've got Sunday 10 till 4. But this year, things are a little bit different. The tournament is running on Friday. So if you're a desperate pinball player, you can come at 10 a.m. on Friday morning and play in the tournament. So, and it's kind of a weird one. I have to say, and I get why, but I think something needs to be rethought of this. So, you got the open tournament starts at 10 a.m. and qualifying finishes 6 p.m. on Saturday. So then you've got an hour to grab your curry. Because the playoffs start at 7 p.m. on Saturday night. I think that's completely mental.
Seems a bit tight.
It just seems it's insane for me. You know, Saturday night is a bit of fun. It clashes with. I think it's going to clash with stall ball. It clashes with other things. I think that's I just don't think that's a great decision. I get why, and I'll explain why. Well, at least why I think. But I think that needs to be thought about. And then you've got the finals continue at 2 p.m. And run to 4:30 on Sunday. And then you've got the finals continue at 2 p.m. and run to 4:30 on Sunday. And then you've got the finals continue at 2 p.m. and run to 4:30 on Sunday. And then you've got the finals continue at 2 p.m. and run to 4:30 on Sunday. And then you've got the finals continue at 2 p.m. and run to 4:30 But then you've also got a Classic tournament. This is the wackiest thing. A Classic's open 10 till 6, and then nothing in the evening on both Friday and Saturday. And then the finals are in the morning on Sunday. And I'm like, why? That just feels bizarre to me. I suspect it's because the people who are running it want to have a few beers on Saturday night and Friday night, which is fine. I get that. But, I think there's ways you could keep that running without necessarily giving up the running of it. So anyway, there's also the ladies tournament, which kind of starts on Friday night at 7:30, where all the ladies lock themselves in a cupboard and get their Ann Summers catalogs. I'm just kidding. No, actually, it also runs this. It's a great gig, and it's great. And then there's ladies qualifying 10 till 2, and then finals 7:30 till 10 on Saturday. So if you qualify for the ladies finals and you qualify for the open finals, you're screwed. To me, that's nuts. I honestly don't. I just don't understand why you would do that. But it is what it is. You've then got the NBA challenge. Have you done the NBA challenge, Scott?
Holly always says to me, "Go try it," and I keep forgetting every time. I just look too busy. I'll come back later, and then I forget about it. So I'll try this time.
You should try and do it. It's like basically 2 NBA games.
Linked together. It's pretty cool.
It's quite cool. It's a lot of fun. Then, if you've got a VIP ticket, you can access Stall Ball. It's never been as good as since I left. Let's face it. The machine they're playing on is Twilight Zone. Ouch. And
it's got a fair amount of locks on it, in all fairness.
Yeah, I know.
I think Shadow's better.
It's Twilight Zone, though. And then there's the UK League Finals also on. I don't know what to say about that, but basically, you can just randomly qualify in different parts of the country and claim to be the UK League champion. It's just a nonsense in my view, but apparently it's what everyone likes. So good luck. But the key thing, though, right, is free play and VIP access. If you're there, there's so many great games. We're going to talk about games. Stallball, actually, it's a lot of fun. Go join it for sure. All the tournaments are a lot of fun. Actually, if you've never played in a tournament, don't worry about the fact you've never played in a tournament. So I'll give an example. My Bond 60th is in the Open tournament. Lots of people are going to want to play it. Just buy a ticket and go have a game of it, right? You don't have to, it'll cost you, I think it's £5 for a ticket on the tournament. You can have a game of it, and if you want to play that game, and any of the other games that are in the tournament. Same with Classics. Buy a ticket or an entry. You go play all the games. There's a great game called Meteor and Space. Actually, there's another game. I got a really good Gottlieb game in the Classics tournament that I highly recommend you play. But I'm really excited about the tournaments, as always. I'm excited about something that isn't actually on the schedule. So last year, myself and Alan O'Grady, Atlantis on the forum, he challenges me to a game of Godzilla. And I was like, I'm only going to challenge it if it's worth something. So we put 3 of us put 150 quid in to play Godzilla. And I was actually a bit conned by it because unbeknownst to me, there was no tilt bob in this Godzilla. Anyway, the good news is I won. And actually it wasn't for charity then, but I gave all the money to charity. Alan has agreed to do a rematch. So Midnight Madness on Saturday in the hotel foyer, Alan and I will be fighting it out for, I don't know, the cojones of winning against each other. And we're going to play 3 games, first to 3 wins. And we're both donating 100 quid each to the charity that Chris B is running, which I can't remember what it is, but Chris always picks a good charity. So hopefully that'll be a bit of fun. It was a right laugh last year. Alan managed to actually play skiing with the Godzilla because of it had no tilt bob. I was actually on the last ball, he was moving around so much that some people thought the power chord was going to come out, which would have suited me
Jesus.
because I was way ahead of him, but he was catching up. He actually played a strategy that when I realized what he was doing, I was thinking, oh, I'm in trouble. Anyway, I won it, and I was very happy about that. And Alan and Atlantis and all the guys from Ireland, the good guys, go chat to them, buy them a beer. In fact, buy them lots of beer. If you see Alan, hand him a beer.
Make sure
Especially
he's
on Saturday.
pasted before he
Yeah, I'm
starts.
so freaking hammered that I can win with one hand. That's what I really want. Right. So let's go into the games.
Speaking of which, quickly on that charity thing,
Yeah.
we should make a note to everyone: bring cash.
Ah, yes, cash. Bring pound
Yeah.
coins. Grab
So
some
if you want to
pound
play on
coins.
those charity pins, you'll need coins.
You need
so
coins.
Bring cash.
I mean, typically, for anything pinball related, bring cash. For anything hotel related, they'll take your card.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, Scott. Thank you for that. So let me just get the list of games that's currently on. Actually, there's some updated news because Matt and I decided what we were bringing because some games we didn't have or didn't arrive. So I ordered Jaws Premium that was basically going to be unboxed at the event.
Nice.
Unfortunately, it didn't arrive. So that's a bit of a downer. But let's go. So Scott, why don't we start reception area? Talk us through those games. We got Venom Premium, we got Tron LE, we got either James Bond Premium or Stranger Things, and we've got Godfather.
Yeah. Tron LE is going to be interesting because obviously that's up for sale as well at a fairly good price, I might add, considering it is a Tron.
I mean, there's a day where that game would have gone instantly.
Oh man, if this was COVID days, I'm sure that would have been gone at that price already. But it is what it is, right? We're living in a bit of a what's the word they keep using now? Cost of living crisis phrase. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
I call that normal reality.
Yeah, I think that's it. The bubble has burst, world. But yeah, it's just anyway. Back on the game, I suppose, because it's focus on that. I think it's to me, it's a good game. It's one of Stern's. You know when they did that kind of noughties era where they didn't have many good games.
Yeah.
It was really just what's good. Tron LE, Tron and Spider-Man and probably Lord of the Rings, and that's it.
Yeah.
I know you don't like Lord of the Rings, but I think
I like Lord of the Rings. It's just not. I find that kind of a bit repetitive, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible game. I don't think it's worth the hype that it gets. You know.
No, probably. It depends on whether or not you're a fan of the license, right? But
it's a typical Gomez game. It feels like a Gomez game.
Oh yeah, definitely got Gomez Benz on it.
Have you played Godfather?
Have I played Godfather? No, I haven't.
Okay, I mean, I definitely recommend having a game of it. I think there's a.
Is that going to be there?
Yeah, apparently it's going to be there in this group.
Yeah, okay.
So Godfather is a great game overlaid by the worst, most complex code that could ever have been written.
Yeah, is it a bit like a board game or something like that? I heard.
It's a kind of you kind of go on missions and stuff, but honestly, I've seen less menus in a internet firewall than in this game. It's just ridiculous, and it's a shame because I actually think the layout is a great layout. It's got this really cool kind of tip. I call it the tit for tat mech that I thought was an ingenious design. Eric talked me through it. Eric Minu talked me through it at TPF when they launched it, and I was impressed by it. But then you get this menu. You're gonna like, why am I selecting things from menus? Fucking hell!
I think for me it was like it's just the theme. I don't think Godfather suits a pinball world. Personally.
No, I mean, I think that was a bit of Jersey Jack likes Godfather and wanting to do his own Godfather game.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. But look, go have a game of it. I think if they were to bin the code and do a really simple rule set, that game would sell like hotcakes.
Interesting.
And pointing in Chase Elton John, that's it's got a much simpler code than Godfather, and it's their best game ever, basically. Okay, so I'm excited about Venom Premium. So Venom. So this is my other challenge for everyone. Venom gets such a bad You know, you read about it, you think it was the worst game ever made. It's utter
Yeah.
bollocks. It's a freaking great game. Please go and
Well, I
play.
played it round yours, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, and actually, I was going to bring my LE until I noticed the premium was coming, because it's such a good game. It's fun, especially if you're a noob to pinball.
Yeah.
Please play this game because it's really easy to pick up. All you have to do is shoot the same colored shot. That's it. And the shots are wide open. They're very easy. Backhand them if you really don't want to lose the ball. It is a phenomenal game, and again, it does not deserve the shit show that it kind of has right now.
I think it's affected by the pricing, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah,
I mean, people look at it and go, there's not much in the Playfield. Looks kind of barren. And then it's got a
100%.
high price tag.
100%. And then, of course, Bond Premium or Stranger Things LE, both great games.
Yeah, I love Stranger Things.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Stranger Things, basically. Okay. The we'll quickly cover the tournament games as a whole. So, games that I'm looking forward to playing. Well, I wish I was in the ladies' tournament because they've got a Medusa and Star Trek, and I really like those games, and Jurassic Park. Matt Vince, though, this is glorious. Actually, Lucy Vince has put in Gigi. Now, I really wish, I hope everyone gets a chance to play Gigi, because it's hilarious. It's literally a complete luck game. And you get 5 balls, and you've never seen a game like it. Have you seen GG, Scott?
No.
No. Go look for it. It's an old EM. Matt has brought it to the league finals, which I kind of think's hilarious. Actually, Lucy picked it because she won the Southeast thing. There's a couple of games in there that are horrible: Guardians, Avatar, Centaur, Kiss. And there's a brave choice, Cactus Canyon Continued. That's always a bit wobbly, that game, just because the way the P-Rock stuff works, but it's fun. Definitely fun. Anything in that list that tickles your fancy? I don't know what Big House is. I don't think I've played that.
I mean, it's interesting when you say, why do you not like Guardians then for a tournament play?
Oh, for tournament, it's a great game. But I just think for Guardians as a theme, they couldn't have done a cheaper. Like, if they literally picked up the Guardians theme in a ball and threw it on a pinball machine. There was no proper theme integration. There's no, literally, the theme integration will play a video in a mode. It's bollocks. It's the laziest theme integration, and I like Guardians as a theme. I've got a Guardians of the Galaxy Pro, and it's very Metallica-like, but I just, as a theme integration, I mean, the great thing is you can buy, so you don't have to even pay for it. You can download a new code that improves it with music, and I think Jim at My Pinballs has got a theme. There's Cleveland, but nah, it's a bit disappointing.
Okay.
Okay, classics. You're not big on the classics, Scott, are you?
No, mate. They're not even on my radar.
I'm gonna pick a classic for you to play. There's 2 that you've got to try and figure out how you play.
Okay.
Stern Meteor. Actually, the good news is there'll be 2 Stern Meteors. There'll be one on the. I'm bringing my Meteor that's just had a new playfield put in by Keith. Thank you, Keith. So you can play that on the Pimbo Republic stand. And there's another great game called Super Orbit. It is worth an entry into the tournament to play that. But you get a possibility of playing Viking if Kevlar brings Flight 2000, it's worth playing that. But Super Orbit, it's a Gottlieb game. It's a phenomenal. It's a funny game. I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
And then the main room. So we got 104 games for the main room. I'm going to pick out 2 games that I would apply petrol to. 2 games I love, and 2 games that I haven't played or I can't remember playing that I want to play again. So, I don't see a roadshow, which is great news. It's the happiest news that
I swear to God, there was one on there. No, but maybe there
there
isn't.
was one on there, but I think it's died.
Oh, okay.
So, that's the good news. But look, there's a game, Legends of Valhalla. Phil's bringing it because David's here. It is the worst game I've ever played. So,
You're bringing your fear of magic.
I am, yes. So I was going to come to that.
Come on then.
But
I jumped ahead. I saw that. Sorry, they just stuck out on the list there.
yeah, sorry, it was a last-minute decision. I'll explain why in a moment. But so Legends of Valhalla, we had to play it non-stop at the Pinball World Cup, and
Right.
literally, I was trying my hardest to lose the ball because the torture of playing this game was making me cry. Basically, it's just shockingly bad. The next worst game that I'm picking out, Spinal Tap. Sorry, David.
Yeah, he's probably not going to disagree, even though he has to sell the damn thing.
It's absolutely shocking.
I just remember it last year, and you kept hearing that woman on the call out going, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to kill myself after I hear that stupid woman every time she's greeting people because it's like one of the first modes you get to."
It's terrible. Right, 2 great games. I'm going to pick games that aren't mine.
Okay.
So, the kind of great game that I'm going to call out is game number 36, RoboCop. It is in a world where pinball was kind of not in a great place. They just nailed that. The back glass is awesome. The music is amazing. And remember, this is a very early early 90s, I think. One of Data East's first games. Doesn't have a DMD. It's alphanumeric.
Right.
If you can get there early and play it, the music's great in it, and unfortunately, you're not going to hear the music. That's the sad thing about it.
It's going to get so bombarded by other sounds, isn't it?
But it's a glorious game. The end of game music is one of the best. Go have a listen to it on YouTube. So that's one of my kind of big picks. The other big pick I'm going to go with is Elton John, and it is a very, very good game. Steve Ritchie, very Star Trek like. Someone told me it was like Star Wars. I was like, yeah, okay. I think you mean Star Trek, because it's nothing like Star Wars. But it is a phenomenal game, and it just really good. Again, the sound might be drowned out a bit, which is a shame. But I would absolutely love that. And then 2 games that I haven't played. These are probably going to be older games. My God, someone's bringing a V pin. Oh dear. So I'm probably gonna. I'd love to have a go. Lady Luck. I have played this before. It's quite a difficult game. Dave's bringing Lady Luck. I definitely want to have a play of that. And also the Funhouse remake.
Yeah, I saw that on the list there. I do want to see what that's like.
Because I played Funhouse. It's not a favorite of mine. It's okay. It's not. It's not.
I just want to see what Brian Allen, as in Flyland Designs, has done with the Playfield artwork.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
That interests me.
And actually, Brian is doing the UK Open T-shirt this year.
Oh, is he?
He is. Yes.
Well, I'll be getting one of those.
We might give one away on the show next time. But yeah, I mean, I'll call it some other great games. Walking Dead, Farfalla, Matt's bringing. Someone's bringing one of them. Twister, Bond Premium. Bride of Pinball. It's not the best game in the world, but it's got a lot of nostalgia because there's so many of them. Scott, what's your two horribles on this? Do you have two
So
horribles?
I'm not going to say two horribles because I think that's a bit divisive. I'm going to say least desirable.
Yeah.
Least desirable for me to play is probably Fishtails because I've just played that game so many damn times. I'm bored of it. I will probably not even play it.
Yeah.
I'll look at it and go, yeah, it's another Fishtails.
Yeah.
I know people love that game. I know it's got a special place in their heart because it's a fun figure of 8 shooter. You can keep, shooting left ramp, right ramp to the cows come home, but it's just boring. Probably other least desirable for me is going to be Lady Luck. I don't think I'm going to bother with that.
Have you played it before?
I have, and no, it didn't do nothing for me. Sorry to say.
Well, there's a polarized view.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll come back and I haven't played it for a while. And maybe I'll come back and say.
I think most desirable for me to play is going to be Galactic Tank Force and Labyrinth because I haven't played them.
Have you
and I
played
want to try
Elton
them.
John?
No, but the theme does nothing for me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm like, I will play it, but I would never own one because it's a bit too. I don't know. It looks a bit garish. I think I wouldn't have that in my lineup. It stick out like a store thumb. It's like a bloody unicorn puke all over it. It's just I'm alright.
I do agree with you on that. I mean, that's typical JGP though. It's like even Godfather. Yeah. It's like, oh, you've just killed someone. Rainbows.
It's just like they seem to like RGB a bit too much to me, but there we go.
Basically, so Luke, great choice. What's the kind of two games on here that you haven't played?
I haven't played Valhalla either, and Barrio's Barbecue there. To be fair, right, this lineup, and it's thankful for people like Atlantis and Pinball Heaven for bringing those games. I really appreciate that because you've got games on there that I just never probably going to be able to play anywhere else. I could see them there, like Toy Story 4, Barrio's Barbecue, Legends of Valhalla. It's like these are expensive games, and I think people need to recognize that. Right? These are damn expensive games.
Actually, I was going to make a note of that, especially after what happened to one of your games last year.
Yeah.
Folks, if you're drinking near a pinball machine, be fucking careful. And sorry to swear, but last year there was a couple of incidents that were just not on. You don't put drinks on glass on the games. If you're not playing the game, don't lean on it. These games are 10,000. Just assume every game is worth 20 grand, right? And treat every game like it's worth 20 grand, because to the owners, some of these games are worth 20 grand.
Well, some of them will be priceless to them, I think. Yeah, depends on what they've done to them,
and
right?
they're all people's pride and joys.
Yeah.
And you need to treat them as such. And last year, I was like, and actually it did make me think, do I want to go through the pain of bringing games?
Well, I initially pulled my game from the list. I hadn't actually wanted to take it because I was a bit put off from last year. What happened? Obviously, beer got pulled down the side of the decals. Luckily, right, it washed off. I mean, that's the nice thing about vinyl. It's somewhat resilient to this stuff, but you just think you spend hundreds of hours doing these games up, and then someone tips beer on it. It's a bit disrespectful.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah,
and it's totally outrageous, frankly.
Yeah, but let's just see what happens. And say, I think like it's up to the organizers to make sure that people run a clean ship, whatever the word is. I want them to make sure that anybody who looks like they're becoming a bit of a nuisance, they have a quick stern word with them, and if they keep it up, they get kicked.
Absolutely,
it's as simple as that.
100%. I mean, I know Phil tries to get that balance right. It's not easy, by the way.
No, it's not.
We run
especially. I imagine it's going to be pretty busy, right? It's hard to actually tell whether or not it will be really busy or not, because this normally falls on a bank holiday weekend.
Exactly.
And it's the week before this time around. So be interesting to see what this does with the entries, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think I meant to ask Phil about that, but I didn't get a chance to. But anyway, look, the good, like I say, folks, if you want people to bring their best games to play, I mean, this is a great lineup.
There's a great lineup, yeah.
But if word gets out that people are just not respecting the games, like, you know, I mean, I think David's nuts. He's bringing a Beatles Diamond edition.
Yeah.
It's a 20 grand pit. Well, actually, I'm doing the same. I'm bringing my Bond. But,
Well, you're all nuts if you ask me, but
yeah,
it's just it is what it is, right? We spend a fortune on these games.
yeah,
But as you say, as long as people, and it's hard to say, right? People listening to this podcast, I think it's not the audience really we want to be targeting at.
No,
It's
I
the
agree.
general audience that don't play pinball a lot, that just come to the show because they've heard about it, and hopefully they come in with good spirits and they're not sat there like there was one little angry little guy. Do you remember last year?
Yeah,
He was
absolutely.
kicking the legs and stuff like that, and you just think, what are you doing?
Well,
Why
I
are you
mean,
taking it out on the machines?
I mean, I did kind of stare at that guy and tell him he should get a life.
Yeah.
Basically, he's probably having poured the beer down the side of it. But anyway, no, I mean, like, it's. I'm just kidding. Look, treat the games with respect, because if you don't, people just won't bring them. I mean, if anything happens to any of my games, that's it. I'm done. I'm not bringing anything. And we at Pinball Republic, we're bringing 24 games.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. Appreciate that.
So you know, you don't. You know, and they're all great games. Except
That's what I mean.
except for Star Wars Episode 1, Matt. I did try and talk them out of it, but
I mean, last year we had probably games that I would say that caught fire, which they did.
yes.
This year, there's a lot of games that have been released in the last 5 years. And that's really good for people. I mean, like they've got to really appreciate that. Actually, this show, this lineup has got some games you're just never going to be able to play anywhere else. So,
Yeah, and I think it's I think this is a great thing about it. I mean, there's some people who bring the same games year in year out, which is fine.
Sure.
You know, that's cool. But I have to say, this year feels like a very different set of lineup of games.
Much more modern, right? It feels a little bit like,
yeah,
we're not near like the days of US Pinfest, but we're definitely
I think
got a respectable lineup there.
Yeah, I think it's different. I mean, I'm annoyed that Jaws. So I had a Jaws Premium I bought for the club that I was going to bring. It hasn't arrived. I was also going to bring my John Wick LE. If it had arrived, I was going to bring that. It's not here.
I heard some rumors about that the cargo crate that's got those Jaws on there is missing, but who knows what reality is behind that.
It would surprise me. So I mean, so John Wick. It's what irritating. Today I got an email from Stern. Oh, more John Wick missions. Here's your fucking mission. Get me my bloody pin. I paid for it like a month ago. What the hell is going on, Stern?
Well, welcome to Pinball, where you pay money for empty space.
It's a
that
joke.
could have been earning money elsewhere.
Honestly, it is an utter. So this is the same. Like, if you're buying LEs now, Stern insists that you pay for them literally when they ship. Yeah.
Oh, when they ship. Okay.
So actually, it might be before they ship. But anyway, it's long before you get the freaking game, right?
Wow. Okay.
And it's infuriating. So, John Wick, when did that come out? Like months ago.
I don't know. It feels like old news now, doesn't it? For this country, it's still new.
It's infuriating because I actually like.
They'll be announcing the next Cornerstone before you get that.
I tell you who has got it. They've got it in the Electrocoin arcade in London. They've got John Wick Premium there. Oh, that's nice. Why don't you fly my freaking LE over, Electrocoin? Sorry, man. And Phil, you know, he's at his wit's end because he just doesn't get any information about what's going on.
Yeah. It's a shame, actually, to say, because if Jaws was in that list, it would have pipped my. I would have gone straight to that game, I think.
And interestingly, there isn't going to be a Jaws there. Is that right? I
don't see one. Right? Yeah.
Maybe I should bring my Jaws LE.
Oh wow, it'd be very good of you to do it there, Neil. But as I say, it's an LE.
Actually, no. I'm not gonna, because it's in bits because I've been installing mods on it. So actually, I'll never get it back.
You're as bad as Anne. Do you know? It's like he said it because I got that alien, and I said to him, "Have you got to this mission yet?" He goes, "Mine's still in bits." He's literally just bits. Like he's had it in bits for like about 8 months now.
So I took mine apart. I got the spinners from the US. They had really nice precision spinners.
Okay.
And I'm not a fan of precision flippers, as you know, although they're very well made. But I just think they're unnecessary. Actually, if you want to improve your flippers, get the new Stern bushing on Sterns. It makes a massive difference. Yeah, they're blingy, but they just make the game completely different to how the designer wanted them. But
Right.
the spinners, the reason I get them is because the spinners on Jaws, especially the premium where you've got two, they're piss poor. I mean, they've been made at a cost point, and they just detract from the game. So I've replaced them with the precision ones. And actually, John, let's do a shout out to John, because he's done these two cool mods. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see them that sit on the top of the spinners.
That's nice.
I got to install these. That one's nice. This one's beautiful. This is I just showed a wheel that sits on top of the spinner, and this one, which is kind of based on the fishing rod that what's his name? I always forget the character's name.
Mate, don't ask me. I can't remember.
No, anyway,
I should know it, but I don't know.
It sits on it. Look, it's so well balanced, well designed. That's the reason why I can't bring my Jaws, because it's in bits, because I've been trying to fit these. Shout out to John who's doing those. If you want them, they're on Pinside. Spinner toppers, go look for them. Because unfortunately Stern decided to rivet the tops to the old mech. So you've either got to file it. It's a nightmare to try and they don't look great. These are much better. So
interesting,
anyway,
these rivets. No, it's like
rivet. I mean, people who use rivets should be riveted to the wall.
I mean, rivets serve a purpose, like ramp flaps, stuff like that. You don't want them coming loose.
No,
do you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
But if you're building
mechs and that, it should be just standard, like
if you're building
screw
an
things.
aircraft carrier, or a rocket to the moon, that's where you need rivets. Right. The other thing I'm going to quickly cover. So the Pinfest Open Competition, everyone should enter it for a laugh, if nothing else. Just buy one ticket, go play games. So World Cup Soccer, great game. Creature, Jackbot, it's okay. It's, just remember,
I was going to say, that's a pretty tough lineup you got there.
it is. It's a very tough lineup, I have to say, and it's 5 card.
I mean, like Walking Dead, it's like, dear God, that game's going to be a trainer.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm looking at is for my kind of ticket is probably Flash Gordon, Walking Dead, Bond 60th, Iron Maiden, and Tron. That's probably what I'm.
I'd have played it safe, and I'd have just gone down Black Knight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Black Knight's.
It's hard, but if you know what you're doing, and I think you
absolutely.
do,
yeah,
you could probably do well out of that.
Yeah, it's just could be an option.
Because people who don't know what they're doing on that game, they're going to drain pretty fast.
The other game that's a potential is Paragon. If you can have a good game of Paragon, it's a tough game. If you can have a good game of Paragon, it could be good. I would encourage everyone to avoid, if you want to die quickly, mousing around in Taxi.
Yes,
brutally
I agree.
Brutally difficult.
Yeah, I've played a lot of Taxi. It's a good game.
It's a great
damn
game.
God, is it drained?
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that era, Taxi, Diner, mousing around, that kind of era of games, they were pretty brutal.
Coin munchers, weren't they?
Yeah,
really?
I mean, that's what they were. That's why they were made brutal, mate. It was because people, they wanted to make money out of these games, and the operators were complaining games took too long. So, Jet Spin, I don't know what that is actually. I need to. It's been put down as a reserve. Could be interesting. And I just trying to have a look at. There's a few other kind of games spattered around. Orbiter 1, always a bit of a laugh if you haven't played it. It's one that's got a kind of a what's the word? It's like the playfield's like the surface of the moon.
Yeah, man. Weird game. Whoever thought that was tripping.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I think that was the last game Stern made before they closed the doors on Stern Electronics, so not unsurprising. And I think, I mean, there's actually one other game I'll call out. It's worth playing. It's a tough game. Techno Play Space Team. It's a Zakaria, a very, very rare game. It's brutally hard though, but go have a look at it. It's an interesting game.
Okay.
And Woe Nelly. If you haven't played Woe Nelly, it's a fun game.
Yeah, I play it. It's good. I like the way it's got like the crate is like the what I mean, like the prop for the legs. It's weird.
Indeed. And I think, the key thing is, Pinfest's about the people.
Yeah.
The games are just a valiant excuse to stand around and have an excuse to get together. So make sure you enjoy it and go talk to folks. And have a lot of fun, and a big shout out to Phil and team for running it. It's a thankless task.
Yeah, I imagine as well. It's some of those games keeping them up and running over this weekend. They're going to get hammered.
All the kind of people fixing games and working on games. The vendors who are bringing games and selling stuff. Thanks for bringing stuff, because again, that's a ball ache just loading up stuff to bring and try and sell.
Yeah.
But huge thanks to those that do that. When did you get there, Scott?
So I'm planning to get there probably, I don't know what time I feel is apt. I might get there like mid-afternoon Friday.
Okay.
Just set up, what I mean, get out of the way. So
I'm because I've got games in the tournament. I'm going up Thursday. Actually, we're going to Pimbo Republic after this. I'm heading to Pimbo Republic to load up the vans. And just a quick update on Pimbo Republic. Things have gone slow the last couple of weeks. Predominantly because most of the helpers have been on holiday.
Right.
So a huge shout out to Tom Shine. Him and his guys did us a massive favor on doing all the electrics.
Oh, nice.
Massive thanks, Tom, because basically he saved us a load of money that we didn't have anyway. So a huge thanks to Tom Shine. Tom's an electrician. If you need an electrician, I highly recommend him. He's done a great work at the club for us, and actually quite challenging circumstances, because you've got the health and safety folks of the shopping mall, and these guys just
I can imagine,
they just banged through it. Done us a super solid on it. And then we basically pretty much all of the games, actually not all of them, but probably 90% of the games are there. And actually, we have a problem. We've got too many games. And we're going to have to prioritize some of the games and kind of juggle them around a bit. So, interesting problem to have. But we open, so there's a members-only event on Thursday, the 22nd. So if you're a member, as a kind of thank you, we're doing a members only event before we open up on the 22nd. And then our official opening up is the 24th, Saturday, the 24th of August. We'll be open all day. And then on Sunday, the 25th, we're running a tournament to kind of get back into the tournament side of it. And then we're kind of open as usual. We've still got lots to do. It's not perfect, but we're heading in the right direction. And we will need help to people to open and stuff like that. We got a lot more kind of flexibility in what we do here. It's great having a loading bay. You've no idea how great that is. And it's sheltered. So normally when we're at the club, when we're loading up, it pisses down with rain. This time it doesn't matter because we've got a nice loading bay. Encourage everyone to come down. And look, the club, if people don't come and pay to play the games, we'll be here a year and we'll shut down. So we've put a lot.
Well, hopefully that's not the case.
No, I hope. Look, I don't think it will be. I hope it isn't. But it's kind of use it or lose it.
Sure.
And
when do you open now? What's your planned date for opening?
No, so the planned date is Saturday, the 24th of August. That is the opening.
It's not far away. Wow.
No, it's a couple of weeks. So honestly, we wanted to be open in July before August.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the lease just. Honestly, I'm going to write my memoirs will have a chapter on this whole lease process. Actually, I noticed on the forum that Luke is talking about setting up a club in Blackpool. I just wanted to comment. I would love to have replied to it, but obviously I'm banned from the forum. I'm going to cry. But so he's talking about trying to set up an event. A club, and I highly recommend them. The one thing I'd say, Luke, is you're committing to a 2-year lease. I would suggest you don't do that. I would suggest that you commit to a 5-year lease with a 1-year lease break. So you're committed for 1 year. If it doesn't work out, you can bail out. But what you do not want is at the end of 2 years to have to potentially find a new venue. It
disruptive.
will kill you.
Yeah.
So, but Luke, wish you well on it. If there's any advice, anything we can do at Pinball Republic to help, let us know. You can break even on this. So good luck. Folks in the north around Blackpool, now's your time to put your money where your mouth is. I know that's difficult for northerners. It's even more difficult for us Scotsmen, but if he's gonna do it, then he's gonna do it. And then finally, a farewell to haggis.
Yes. I think look, they had best intentions in the world.
I think so. But
I genuinely think looking at the stories of what happened, like Caney tried to send pre-populated playfields. I don't know if you heard that whole thing. Crazy what they tried to do, but he tried to use friction material between the top layer and the wood to keep the overlay effectively, the actual part, the playing part of the playfield attached to the wood.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like an acrylic top. And it's obviously started lifting because of heat changes in transport and going across cargo freights and God knows what else. But it's just if it ain't broke, don't fix it is a very good term to use. Just
100%.
bloody hell, print to wood, put a clear coat on it. The silly part is, right, the guy I used to make the playfields that I do for my Cyberpunk and my BSD and that.
Australia.
He's in Australia.
Yeah.
He could have talked to that guy.
Yep.
That clear coat's as good as Cruiseman's coat. It's rock solid. Like that thing, I haven't got a single dent on my Cyberpunk. Now, for those that don't know Johnny Mnemonic, it throws balls around like no tomorrow. There's a part on the playfield that literally just drops a ball at height onto the playfield. It does it from the glove and it does it from a ramp. That should be a crater by now, given standard playfields, at least Mirko playfields. But because it's got this rock solid clear coat on it, it's not got a single dent on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like highway. It's like, well, I can do this better, right?
Yeah.
And look, I get that, but you've got to survive first. And it goes back to the George Gomez ball and flippers. That's what counts in pinball. It's not your bozo manufacturing process. So get some games out the door.
I think he spent too much money on the internals as well. When you looked at how immaculate it sounded,
100%. But this is the thing: no one needs a flashing light. No one in pinball really gives two hoots about an under game light. I'm sorry, they just don't. Right? So why waste loads of time on it?
Yeah.
It's the same with Highway. Oh, we're going to have this cabinet with this. The cabinet on highways, the highway game is a freaking nightmare. It's huge. It weighs a ton.
Yeah.
It's an absolute.
It's over-engineered, isn't it? I think that's the problem.
Same with Deep Root. Oh, we got this thing that goes up and down. They never got it to work right because they could never build.
It was like their what they did, a pod, didn't they call it? The transport pod for pinball machines.
What? That look. Is there a market for that? I would buy one of them for sure, right?
Sure.
But is it going to make your pinball companies five? No freaking way. Focus on the ball. Every one of these people that have gone under, it's about ball and flippers, and also if you're going to license themes, you need volume.
Absolutely
insane. You need volume. You need massive volume. I mean, I want to shout out to Marty who worked at Haggis. and worked a lot. I actually don't think he was paid very much. Marty's a great friend of mine.
Doubt he was even paid at all near the end.
Yeah,
but
probably not. But he loves pinball. Marty, we're thinking of you. I hope you're well, mate. Certainly a challenging time. And Luke, lots of people. Hindsight's 2020, right? But
Sure.
there are certain things. If you're thinking about setting up a pinball company, well, you're probably not listening to this podcast. But if you are, go read the Pinside threads and all the stories of the kind of last four that have bit the dust. And there's a common theme. One, a leader that isn't capable, right, makes bad decisions. Two, not focused on the people buying the game. And actually, there's some big companies that I think need to rethink that. JGP and Stern, I think, are I'm like, why do I buy LEs? I get it. It takes forever. I have to pay in front, and then some bozo releases a premium black and white that might be better. I just think of the customer. Think of the customer. And too many of these companies just don't do that, basically.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating. Anyway, look, we're up against time.
We are. I'm very mindful of the clock. I've got 1 minute.
Yes. So Luke, Scott, again, appreciate you joining this. Looking forward to seeing everyone at Pinfest. If you didn't like the podcast, let us know why. If you did, tell your friends. We'll get this up and running so that you can listen to it on your favorite device on the way to Pinfest. Come and see us at the Pimbo Republic stand. Scott's bringing what game you bringing? You're bringing.
I'm bringing Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. You have to go see that, folks. It's amazingly done. The artwork is stunning. The whole build of it is fantastic. And the game it's based on is a good game as well. So make sure you go see that.
When you play it, it's a flow monster now. I can tell you that much.
Indeed. So, look, enjoy Pinfest. Make sure you say thanks to everyone. Don't put beers on games. Come and join us for the karaoke. Come and join us for the Midnight Madness. And have a great time is the key thing. Make sure you go home thinking everyone's mission is to go home wanting a game that they didn't think they would want. So go play things you haven't played. On that, Scott, I will see you soon.
See you soon.
Take care. See everyone at Pinfest. Have a great trip. Safe journeys to everybody. Bye-bye.